Thank you. So welcome everyone. Hello and welcome to our oasis this morning. If you've been following our series, you know that we've been exploring God's presence in the elements and the elements within our bodies and our hearts and our ways of being. Today is our last element. We've already done earth, where we practice feeling grounded, and we realize that God is the ground of our being, that we are certainly rooted and grounded in love. We've done wind, which is movement, and we talked about the Holy Spirit being wind and breath of God, and how as we experience wind within our bodies, we have the Holy Spirit flowing in and among and through us. It's just very sweet. And we also talked about the wind relieving pose, which is another whole element altogether. And I'm going to move on from there quickly because I'm getting myself in trouble. And the next one was fire. We talk about the flame of the Holy Spirit being within, and that God is a consuming fire. He revealed himself in fire to the Israelites in the pillar of fire that followed them for presence and protection through the wilderness, as he does with us. And today we talk about water. That's why I'm saying that we are here at this oasis this morning, this water in the wilderness. The Lord talks about sending streams in the desert and water in the wilderness. He's, of course, speaking of his presence himself. Maybe we can think of ourselves today as like the woman at the well coming to draw water from the well, and we meet Jesus here who says, "Ooh, if you had known who you were talking to, you would have asked for water, and I would have given you the water that never ends, that never-ending oasis that Jesus is within us." So welcome to the oasis this morning. I'm going to read to you first a little bit about the element of water as seen in traditional cultures and religions. And so this is the water element I'll share with you. So water is accorded cleansing power, and maybe we can think of that as baptism. It is symbolic of dreaming, healing, flowing, fluidity, purification, regeneration, strength, change, fertility, devotion, receiving, and unconditional love. It symbolizes death as well as rebirth. If you will recall in baptism, when we go under the water, that is symbolic of dying to self and rising again in the love and spirit of God. It is life-giving, but it can also be destructive. Fresh water stands for life and good health, while polluted or stagnant water is symbolic of bad health. So as we think about the energy working through the body, the life force, God's presence, God's life-giving movement within ourselves, if those places become stagnant anywhere, that's when we say that maybe we develop some sort of illness or we feel stuck. And that's in a yogic sense, but it really does ring true in our lives, as I'm sure you know. So water is associated with the autumn season, and that's where we're heading into, and the west direction. So if you look on the medicine wheel, or the wheel of the elements, earth, in most or some cultures, earth is to the north, water is to the east. No. Spirit is to the east, fire is to the south, like summer, and water is to the west. So that's where we are now. We're walking into the western quadrant of the year, and so we're thinking about water today. So I invite you, so just real quickly, in the energy centers, in the life of energy medicine, water is associated with the sacral area of the body, that right underneath the belly button and above the pubic bone, which is really where truly our water, you say you have to pass water, that's where your bladder is. That's where the reproductive organs are. So we think about that water element in our bodies being the seat of emotion, of creativity, of the ability to go with the flow when that place is open and free. But what's interesting is that that ability to be fluid is maintained by the stable foundation of the earth underneath. So under our feet, that energy center that comes out through the center of the body down to the ground is the earth element. And that's what keeps us stable and grounded. And that's why we say that God is the ground of our being. We are rooted and grounded in love. And out of that firm foundation comes the ability to grow up with some fluidity, creativity, to do those things without flooding over and losing control. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So, okay. So in the yoga practice, we think of flowing movements. We think of hip circles, hip openers as being that part of our practice that keeps that energy flowing through our bodies. So we're going to play with that today. Some movement, some flow. So now go ahead and rest down and find yourselves maybe on your back if that feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't, you can certainly sit up. You can stay seated if you'd like. Even if you're sitting in a chair, you can just do that. But if you're comfortable lying back, I invite you to do that. Make yourself comfortable there. And as we rest into wherever we've decided to land this morning, be mindful of that firm foundation that you have, either the ground coming up to support you underneath your back, or maybe the back of your chair, or the seat in your chair supporting you, holding you. And this is that foundation that we work from. We are stable here, our stability, our groundedness. So bringing to mind that your body is about 65-70% water. We have water inside our cells, every cell, outside of our cells. We have water in our muscles. We have water within the brain. We have water everywhere. We need it. We cannot live without it. This is a pretty important element to be aware of. So maybe you can become aware of your blood pumping through your body. Think about your heart pumping that fluid through your body, life, health, and energy. We need to be hydrated to keep our blood volume up and to keep us conscious and aware and healthy. So let's begin by looking around. Notice where you are, and if this is a new experience, really take in what your surroundings look like. And if you've been in that living room or the bedroom or the room over the garage, the frog, every day in the pandemic, and you've been looking at this every day going crazy, look at it again and notice maybe something different, or allow yourself to settle into the familiarity with fresh eyes. Just look. And then if you're comfortable closing your eyes, please do. If not, just cast your eyes softly so that you can shift your awareness to this sense of hearing and just listen for the sounds in your environment. It's a little mindfulness practice to become aware of what we hear. And in that environment, as we listen, we also become aware of the space where we rest, where the sounds are moving. If you remember that our hearing comes from vibration, so what do you pick up in your environment? Can we become aware that what we're experiencing here is that sacred space for us this morning? Just notice that in this space, God lives and moves and hovers and loves and cares for us. Just like the woman at the well, God meets us here. Jesus meets us here at the mat to provide that water that quenches our thirst. And then guiding your awareness to your body here, asking yourself, what did I bring in my body today? What am I carrying? Do I have any places that are cranky or need some special attention? And if you like, resting your hand on that space.
It's in my head.
And then with loving attention, just be mindful and know that you can bring that place grace, no forcing, judgment. Allow yourself to be gentle with any place that needs your extra care today. And then just resting down and becoming aware now of your breath. Notice the breath moving in and out. Often the places where we've been affect the way we're breathing. The things that are on our mind affect the way that our breath moves in and out. So this is something that we can bring our thoughts and awareness to and moderate, modify, change, bring some awareness to so that we can change that. And with a conscious awareness of your breath moving in, maybe you can think about what it's like to breathe in a slower, fuller breath by allowing your belly to expand on your inhale and soften on your exhale, and just see how that feels for you for a few breaths. Going back to the element of wind and allowing God's breath to just come in like a sweet breeze in through into your body, sweeping through bloodstream, sweeping through lymphatic system, sweeping through muscles and bone, and bringing His presence to each cell. Life-giving breath. And if you can, think about maybe evening out your inhale and exhale now to just kind of equalize the nervous system. Thinking about maybe taking a breath in to a count of 4 and a breath out to a count of 4. Just see how that feels. How does it register in your body? Softening your face, softening thoughts. Allowing the breath to move in and maybe feel a sense of expansion on your inhale and a sense of rest on your exhale. Going back to that sense of water, that tidal rhythm of breath moving in. Maybe we can say breath ebbing in, breath flowing out. Breath flowing in, breath ebbing out. And as you rest in this rhythm of breath, I'm going to share with you today from the book of John. It's chapter 7. Verse 37 to 39. On the last and greatest day of the feast, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, "If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, streams of living water will flow from within them." By this he meant the Spirit, whom those believed in him were later to receive. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, streams of living water will flow from within them. So as you take in your breath, that wind breath of God's Spirit, can you also see it as quenching thirst, coming in and finding those places that are parched within us, within you. Maybe like, I think I've said this last week with the fire, with that when things are heated up, as we take in Christ, it's like taking that taste of cold watermelon on a hot day. As we place it on our tongue, it is sweet, quenching, refreshing. As we take it in, we have this sense of renewal. It's amazing how beautiful just a bite of cold watermelon can be for us as we think about it being like Christ. Fresh, tasty, sweet, thirst-quenching, life-giving. So how does that feel for you this morning as you rest on your mat? Lots of images today. So we'll take on our next breath a big stretch. So take it in any way that feels comfortable for you. Ask your body, just notice, listen to what your body is saying, and take in that big sweet stretch. Maybe that can be like your watermelon today, taking in that stretch and opening. And as you're stretched out here, taking a moment to circle out wrists, ankles. And that's kind of what gets the energy flowing, right? It really is that fluid motion, the circling. And then very gently, let's just take the right knee in. You can catch the knee under your hands if you like. Draw that knee towards you as you press out with your left foot, lengthening the left leg away. And breathe, just taking a sweet breath. And we'll change sides. Drop the right foot to the mat. Bringing the left knee in and catching it underneath so we don't compress the joint. We're just going to take underneath the knee, press out through your right leg now. And maybe circle out a little bit more, ankles, flex and point. We'll do a little bit more of this standing, but just draw the knee in. Find your breath, press out through your feet, and soften your face, your shoulders. And then we'll very gently draw the right knee in to meet the left and take the hands to your kneecaps. So speaking of water here today, we're going to row that boat, launch out here by... Oh dear. So just go ahead and take your hands to your kneecaps and take your knees apart from each other. And then we'll press the knees away from us and back together. So then you'll pull the knees towards you. So that's a very long explanation for just circling out the hip sockets. Just want to take the hip joint, the ball and socket, move it around. So just pretend you're rowing that boat, gliding along quietly through the water, the still waters, as the boat just sails along. Maybe you can imagine that fresh fragrance of that just above the water. You know how that smells? It's so sweet. And then let's reverse our rowing here. So we're going to row the other direction. Take in your breath. And then we'll draw the knees back to center. On your inhale, press soles of the feet to sky with arms overhead. And on your exhale, let's bend our knees. Catch your knees in your hands, gently draw the knees towards you. So we'll just do this a couple of times. On your inhale, feet come up, arms float over your head. And on your exhale, knees come in. Just catch them in your hands, draw them towards you. And on your inhale, arms come over your head. Last time, exhale in, knees come in, pull them towards you. Maybe rock out side to side a little bit. And then rock over onto your side. Just let yourself rest there a moment. I'm going to press myself up while you rest there for another moment or two. And just settle into your body today. Notice how your breath is feeling. And then slowly press yourself up to sitting. And we're going to come right on around to all fours so that we can press up to down dog and standing. So come on up to your all fours. Kathy, I'm going to ask you if you would mute, please. So Sorry to say names, but I apologize. Just, and then on your inhale, just come on up really gently into cow, and on your exhale, round into cat. And one more time, inhale to cow. Think of that fluid place, exhaling, rounding. And then come back to center on your inhale. Tuck your toes, press back to an easy down dog. And let this be very fluid for you today. It doesn't have to be stiff or pressing too hard. You can just work your way through it. And if down dog doesn't work for you, you can stay on all fours if you want. You can work your way to standing already if you need to, but if down dog works, just play with that a little bit. And then we'll work our way, walking our feet to our hands. And then shift back so your weight's right in the center of your feet. And walk your hands back to your feet. You can bend your knees a whole lot here. And we'll take our hands behind our legs and just begin to massage up your legs. Just so give your legs a little love there. We're going to work our way up around the knees. And around behind your thighs, just all around your legs. Just give yourself a little smoothing out, a little waking up of the muscles there. Come on back around by your rump there. And then come on up. And we'll come to standing. Maybe work through the belly a little bit. All up through the chest. And then the arms. And I'll press myself back here. Thanks, you guys. Whew. Get yourself situated. I'm going to tuck in my muffin top here and find my head. Where's my head? There. So coming to standing. So remembering that that firm foundation is what keeps us stable while we float around a little bit. So take your feet into the mat and take a moment to feel the soles of your feet settling in. Nice tall spine, heart lifted. Take a breath here, and on your exhale, send your awareness down through your legs, down through the soles of your feet into the ground. And then bend your knees a little bit, and we'll just bounce into it. You want maybe the emphasis can be down, press, just bounce in. Feel that connection there. Maybe you can just gently rock front and back a little bit, maybe circle here, but you want to feel that pressing into the ground. So what we're going to do is take a few bounces. Just bounce, let your arms just jangle. Breathe. And then just slump. And think about, as you're down here, you just kind of let everything hang, let your arms hang, let your knees bend, press into your feet. And bounce a little bit here, pressing in, and then grow up. Press into the soles of your feet. Allow your body to grow out of the ground here. That rootedness sends you up tall. The energy from the center goes down through your legs. Good. Broaden your shoulders. And we're going to start to feel our feet as we pick up the right foot and just step into it and step into the left. We've done this many times. But you can see, or hopefully feel, that groundedness, that presence is what is stabilizing for us to just press it down, be a little fluid with the upper body, but you're stabilizing with your feet. So press, and then we'll press out to the side. So press it out, press it out. And then we're going to reach up. So we're going to take a reach up and a reach up and a reach up. Breathe. Let the breath be very easy. Reach it up. If you'd like, you can reach up and lift. Reach. Reach. So as you do this, you will need to press the energy down through the standing leg and just kind of reach up and press and lift just to your level of comfort. If you want to just play with a little back and forth, that's fine too, but whatever is comfortable for you. And then we'll come back down, do a little flowing motion, stabilize through your feet, and let's do some figure eights. We'll go all the way down to our feet, Do some figure eights. So it really is as if you're gliding your fingertips through some nice cold water. Back and forth, across the knees. So this is where we really feel the space, where fingertips become aware of where we are. It's like a moving meditation. I'm just going to take it across. Allow it to be as fluid as you can. Side to side, reaching up. Good. And then maybe just take a little backstroke. Little backstroke here. Breathe. Notice how the breath affects what you're doing. So really we can say that as we breathe into the motion, maybe do a little crawl stroke now, that the breath really does affect the way that we feel in our fluid motion, going with the flow. And isn't that true in spirit as well? Wind, breath of God comes in, makes us more fluid. Good. And then we'll come to center and take our hands to our knees and circle out the knees. And other way. And then come on up. And hands to your hips. Come to a comfortable stance, bend your knees, and then we'll circle out the hips. Good. And other way, circle them around. Good. And take your hands now to your knees and inhale up into cow. Exhale, round. Just doesn't have to be big, just a little rounding of the spine. The point here is to really center yourself here in your abdominals and find that the breath moving through and the stability of your muscles is what gives you the freedom to be a little more fluid here. So that's the way we work the water energy through the body. So can you just kind of let it be very easy? Maybe take your arms loose here. Reach forward, come back. See how that feels for you. Keep your hands on your knees if that, or your thighs if that feels better. But if you can, play with that. Very simple, doesn't have to be big. And next time you exhale, come in. On your inhale, let's grow the heart open. And then exhale, give yourself a hug. Inhale, open. Exhale, give yourself a hug. And we'll inhale, open last time. Thumbs behind you, open the heart. Breathe and down. Hands down. So we'll take a couple of half sun salutations here. And today, often we think about being very aligned, very, of course that is that stability that allows us to move with flow. But we also want to allow the other part of it. There's the stability, and then there's the movement. So just think, I was going to explain this for a second. So in your body, if your cells did not have a little lipid fat membrane around each cell, the fluid could escape and it would be out of control, and we'd be like, we wouldn't be here, right? And your muscles have the stability of the fascia that runs through the muscles like a little net that kind of holds all the jelly muscles together so that they can actually contract and move. Your brain has the membranes around the brain, the 3 layers of meninges, whatever spinal membranes that hold the brain in place, so it's not some big blob of goo, right? So in our bodies as well, when we are moving, we need that inner stability, that core of stability, to allow us freedom. Big metaphor for the day, right? Okay, so where are we? Okay, we're going to come back to palms together and just find your easy stance with a little core of strength. And when you're ready, on your inhale, let's just swoop the arms up, so take your time. Inhale, lift. Your exhale will fly the arms out, draw your belly in gently, and fly forward to a nice long forward fold. And then inhale, come up halfway. Look at me, long back. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, lift. Arms fly out to the side. Pull you on up. Come to arms up, palms touch. On your exhale today, let's fountain the arms out. And that brings that circle of energy all the way around and back to the heart. So can we think of it like that, about circles of energy, round, flowing, moving, flying, whatever. So let's come back to center. Tall back. When you're ready, inhale, come up. Exhale, dive. Inhale, come up halfway. Look at me. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swoop, press into your feet, that firm foundation, arms come up, palms touch, and flow out to the side. And then palms meet at the heart. Do it one more time. Get ready. Be stable, but get ready to fly. So on your inhale, swoop. Exhale, fly. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swoop, arms come up. And exhale out. And come to the heart. And so allow your hands to rest and just stand. Notice how your body's feeling. Where are you in your body today? How is the energy moving? How is your breath moving? Yes, so when we move, there's something called proprioception, where we know where our muscles are, where we are in space, what we're doing. And there's also something called interoception, which means that we become aware how our body movement, how what we're doing affects us inside. How's the internal landscape feeling? That's what I mean when I say just notice how you feel. So we're going to go on to a very easy flowing for today kind of sun salutation that is just a rolling through. So just follow me and we'll do our best. Instead of all the formal up dog, down dog things, we might do a little down dog quickly, but you'll see it's going to be through cat, cow, flowing, moving, okay? So come to the top of your mat. I'm getting down on mine. Come to the top of your mat, take hands together. Take a moment to gather in. Just notice that sweet little anticipation of beginning. Notice your breath. And when you're ready, your inhale will take arms up. Your exhale, fly and float forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. So your exhale, bend your knees a whole lot. Come down to hands and knees, palms on the mat, knees on the floor. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Tuck your toes under, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands back to your feet. On your next inhale, just come up halfway and forward fold again. Inhale, lift and swoop, arms float up and fly out. Palms come back to your heart. And then allow your hands to rest by your side. You're going to go to that inner vision now. Notice what's happening inside your body, how your heart rate feels. Notice how muscles and energy feels as you come home to yourself. And we'll try that again. So come back to center. I'm going to face this way this time, see if I can do it this way. So coming back to center, find your center. On your inhale, swoop up. Exhale, fly and float forward. Inhale halfway. And exhale, bend your knees a whole lot. Palms go down on the mat. One knee, other knee. That's your exhale. On your next inhale, float up into cow. Exhale, round into cat. Inhale, flowing up forward. Glide the heart into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale, table. Tuck your toes under. Press back on your exhale to downward dog. Inhale, walk your feet forward to your hands, hands back to your feet. Exhale, forward fold. And let's do it that halfway again. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, lift, swoop, come on up, palms touch, boink. And float down to your sides and come back to the heart. And once again, let's just allow the hands to rest. Notice how you're feeling. So we're going to play with a little warrior one here today. A little flowing warrior one. So there's a difference between, I'm hoping that we can experience what it's like to be static in a pose for strength and focus, and fluid in a pose to just experience the freedom in those things, right? So let's come to, let's see if I can do it this way. Let's take a right leg back. And in any way you can get there. So if you need to go sideways, separate your feet first and then turn to the front, that's fine. Or just step your right leg back and find your comfortable place for warrior one. So your hips are, for the most part, facing forward. You're going to find a comfortable stance. Let's find a comfortable place for our legs. So notice that I don't have my feet lined up like this because that would be unstable. So what we want to do is keep the legs about hip width apart or more so that you feel very comfortable with the kickstand back here. And we'll take our hands to our hips and just kind of flow into bending the front knee. Let your shoulders broaden and settle. Tummy is lifted. So this is that inner core that brings stability to the pose. Energy moving up through the crown of your head. Then we'll take arms up and move into that warrior one. So just feel this for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to begin to just flow with it, okay? So find your stability in your foundation. We'll take a breath. On your exhale, make your way forward. On your inhale, flowing back up. You can straighten your front leg, come on up. Exhale, flow forward, very easy. And inhale, press into that front foot and come all the way up. Exhale, flow forward. Bend your front knee. Inhale, lengthen your front leg, come on up. Exhale, settle into warrior one. And from this stability, let's take the arms out into our goalpost or cactus arms. Reaching out now, we're just going to play with that space. You're in your warrior one, but because of your stability, you can take your arms and move. Allow the body to be very fluid in whatever way feels right. Arms float. Strong legs, feet pressing in. Heart lifted. Arms flowing, breathing. Good. And on your inhale, swoop the arms up. Press into your front foot. Lengthen the front leg, and then on your exhale, press down into just a static warrior one. You just want to hold for a breath to feel the difference. This is using our stability for strength, for focus. Good. And then we'll take the hands down, take the hands to the heart. Shift to your front foot, bring the back foot to meet it. And then we'll take the other leg back. So once again, just take a minute to recover your sense of safety here, sense of stability. Hips facing forward as best you can. Let's leave the front leg long first. So the front toes are pointing toward you. If you can't see them, the back foot, as you can see, is angled out a little bit for an easier support. And we'll take the arms up. And on your exhale, just float forward. The front knee goes right over the toes. Arms are where they're comfortable, reaching out. Breathe, find yourself here. See how it feels. How are you? If you need to shift, please shift. Breathe, and then we'll take an inhale here. On your exhale, begin your flow forward, flowing forward, rolling back, flowing forward, flowing back. So just take it in any way that feels right to you. You're flowing through, you're coming back up, allowing the body to be stable in center, but the arms begin to flow a little bit. So feeling it, the strength in that front leg. And one more time, we're going to flow forward. We're going to flow back up. Find your warrior one, be stable here. Pressing back through the back leg, lifting through the heart, reaching through the arms. Front leg is bent and stable here. And then take a breath. And then allow on your exhale, your hands and arms to begin to explore space. Maybe coming through the cactus again. Maybe just doing whatever you feel right. Just listen to your arms. Just let them go. Let them explore that space. Feel that space. You can even take a little side bend if you want. And when you're ready, let's take the arms up. Lengthen your front leg. Get stable here on your, take an inhale when you're ready. And then exhale. Allow the exhale to be what gives you that sensation of really pressing in, flowing there. Strength, focus. And then we'll take hands to heart. Step into your front foot. Bring the back foot in. Let your arms settle. And notice how you feel. So we'll take a balancing pose here. So you just want to jangle it out a little bit. Dance around. Get your sillies out. Whew. This is a good day for that, right? A little punching. Okay. What? Okay, so we're going to do, yes, tree pose. So let's come to standing. In center, if you have a chair nearby or a wall or a desk, as I have here, my trusty desk. You can use that for your yoga pal today. So standing up nice and tall. Remember the stability in your, let's say you're going to keep your right leg grounded here. So let's pull up. Gather the muscles in, squeeze the muscles into the bones, come on up to center, squeezing into the belly, up through the back, out through the shoulders, up through the crown of your head. Maybe take hands to heart, or hands to your hips, hands out here, whatever feels right. And then shift your weight into your right leg, that strong right leg, so that the left toes can pick up. Maybe you can even swirl that foot around if you want. Take the toes to the ankle and lift up as far as you're comfortable, maybe to the calf, maybe even reach down, take the foot into the inner thigh, whatever feels good for you. And then we'll begin to play with this. And this is where that concept of strength and ease really comes into play. If you're comfortable, taking the arms up over your head, and just play with letting the arms move a little bit here. Woo, is the wind blowing? Don't watch me because I might screw you up. So just find yourself a focal point, which is very important. Find your breath, play, fall out of your tree if you need to. Sway that tree around. Strong in your standing leg. And then we'll make our way back to center. Take the front knee, the top knee out ahead facing me, and then press that left foot out and take it down. And here we are. How do you feel? Notice how you're feeling. Just stand, maybe jangle that out a little bit. And then we'll try the other side. So we're just going to come to standing again. This time it's the left leg. That will be our groundedness and support, our snuggle muscles coming in and lifting. And we'll take the right toes up. Take the knee out if that's comfortable. Stay here and just play with toes down, toes up if you'd like, or plant the foot into the calf. You can press towards center here. It's good to press the thighs toward one another. Press your foot into your calf into your foot. And if you'd like, growing arms up. And just find that reach. It's like the sun is pulling you right up out of the ground, but your roots are holding you stable. Holding steady. And if you like, you can play with whatever you want to do with your hands. Just so just play with letting the arms flow. Maybe that easy sense of the breath as water flowing you around. And then come back to center. We'll take the palms to the heart. Take the foot out, reach, and settle. Hands down. Good. Wonderful. So let's take the legs out to the side. We're just going to take a little flowing swoosh side to side. So we'll just one side, other side, back and forth. Feel your feet. And then we're going to just do a little reach down toward the right leg, flow around toward the left leg, back and forth. Back and forth. Just let it be very easy. Feel the shoulder sockets. Very easy. They're just not being held or forced. Just kind of letting things move back and forth. And then we'll make our way gently down to center. Bend your knees a lot. Take your hands down to the floor. Walk your feet together a little bit so that you can come down to your knees and then sit off to the side. So come to sitting. Sit off to the side. So you have your legs here out by your side. This is kind of a mermaid sit, picture your tail. We always say, just flap out your tail, let it settle as you sit on the rock and sing beautiful songs. Yes, so here we are seated. And so we're just going to take the top knee, bring your knees out in front a little bit. Take the top knee, shift it back a little bit. So you're going to be kind of sitting in a stag, like a stag leap formation here. Now the front foot can be away from you a little bit. Just work with it and see what feels more stable for you. And we'll take so if the front foot is ahead, you'll take your left hand to your left crease of your groin there. Just kind of play with sitting back and lifting it. Now if that's not comfortable, if that hurts, you can always take the back leg long here. You can always sit with this leg out to the side. So see what feels comfortable for you. And then with the breath, we're going to, so you're supported on your opposite hand. So we'll take a breath here. Exhale, scoop the hips under a little bit. Scoop under, you press under your rear end, press it forward so this hip lifts. So the hip's going to float up, which in turn nudges your rib cage around, which nudges your chest, which nudges your neck, which nudges your head. So you have this little spiraling twist going on here. And then the hip sits down, which brings the waistline, the ribs, the chest, the neck, and the head. And we'll do it again. And we'll inhale, press up, spiral around, shoulders are relaxed. And exhale, hip sits first, waistline, ribs. So it's this really easy, fluid flow back and forth. If it's not comfortable, remember, you can always sit with the leg out to the side and just kind of press the hip up and sit down. You want to keep your core stable so that you don't sit into your lower back and sit back. Next time, come on up and stay. So holding here, hold your little twist. If you're comfortable here, stay here. If you want to go a little farther, you can come back down on the diagonal on your back elbow. So you're long in the belly. You're going to take the top arm up, reach way up and over your head. So you're pressing up forward through the hip. You'll probably feel it in the front hip flexor here, maybe in the front thigh, right along the top of the thigh. Reaching up long. Take a breath. On your exhale, once again, your hip will come first, tucks in, which tucks everything over, and you're going to go around and roll over the front and roll up to sitting. Good. And we'll draw the knees together, switch sides, let your tail go over to the other side. Mermaid tail floats out. The top leg hinges back. You can sit back like this, or you can have that leg out. If you need a fuller seat there, if you want to just lift the hip a little bit here, that's great. Whatever feels right to you. On this side, I think I'll keep this leg out in case somebody wants to do that. So we'll take our opposite hand, the hand to the groin on the leg that's out to the side or behind you. Take the other hand behind for support, lift your heart, drop your shoulders. So take a breath here. On your exhale, the hip will turn under a little bit. Press through the back of the hip forward and roll it. And then sit back. So remember that you are scooping up through the hip, rolling the waistline, rolling the ribs, rolling the chest, very gently if your leg's out to the side. And then your exhale and your sit will take your hips back, waistline back, shoulders back. You can take a little counter twist too. Scoop. Flow, press back, flow around. Last time, press it up, take it to the side, top arm comes up, reaches out, take a little reach. And on your inhale, you're going to just allow yourself to scoop under, hips scoop under, flow around to the front. Come on up to center. And if your leg's behind you, you draw the legs together. If your leg's out, you draw the legs together. Come back to center and take your feet apart. And we'll just windshield wiper the knees back and forth. And come to sitting. So we'll just come to an easy seat here. Notice your groundedness here. Notice the stability in your hips settling in. We're going to take a moment to catch up with the breath. So if you like to perch on a blanket under your hips, which I do not have right now, but if you have one, you can perch on your blanket under your hips. Just come to your comfortable, easy seat. And as you get there, we're just going to take some time to sway back and forth, make some circles around. This is once again focusing on that sacral area, which is our energy center of going with the flow of reproduction, creativity, and other way. Let's come around. Yeah, so just let it be very easy. Don't worry about making it any particular way. Just go with what your body's asking for. And then we'll come back to center and inhale, lengthen out, and exhale, rock back. Just take this a few times. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, rock back. And we'll inhale, seated. And exhale, chin to chest. On your inhale, take your face up to the sky. Very easy. Exhale down. And staying down, allow yourself to become aware of the little lengthening of the back of your neck, soft shoulders, tall back. And then just roll your right ear over the right shoulder. Ooh, lengthening the left shoulder away from your ear. And we'll reach out long now through your left fingertips. So you want to feel that cascading feeling. It really is just this ease that hopefully that floats over the side of your head, over your ear, down through your neck, over your shoulder, elbow, wrists, fingers, And use this time to do a little hula with the hand. Maybe reach out a little bit, pull it back. It's like that ebb and flow with the breath, just reaching out, back in, let it float down, reach out, float back. And then we'll inhale, reach out and hold it reaching. So notice that there's probably a level where you have your arm, where you really feel it, and you feel that maybe you need the most breath there, the most attention. Breathe. And then we'll take our hand back to our knee. On your inhale, float your head back to center. Exhale, opposite. So this should be your left ear over left shoulder, probably. Sitting up tall, keep the spine tall. Reach out through the right fingertips. Pressing the right shoulder down. Floating your arm up, and then begin to, with your breath, just easy reach out. Exhale, soften. So find that ebb and flow, rise and fall of the breath in the arm. Listen to your breath, moving in, moving out. Allow the arm to follow. And maybe explore with a little motion, little hula of the hand, press out. Just notice, play, feel. And then reach out on your inhale and stay, reach there, exhale. Just let your breath flow here as you continue to hold and reach. Good, take your hand in. Inhale your head up. Take the shoulders up and back. So let's take soles of the feet together here. And we'll do one more little flowing experience. So we just want to sit up tall here. So find your breath. On your next exhale, let's float forward with a tall back. So we'll inhale, lift through the spine. Exhale, just hinge through with a long back. You might not go very far. Let your exhale take you all the way down. So let's come back. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, hinge forward, float over. Let your back round now. And on continuing with your exhale, scoot back. So you're going to drop back into the hips, around your spine. Inhale, grows the spine up tall. Exhale, brings you forward, rocks you back. Your inhale lifts you up tall, shift forward. Exhale, down, rock back. So you can see this. The inhale is lifting, spreading. Exhale is flowing forward, rocking back. Inhale, lift. Glide forward, rock back, and stay. Now we're going to reverse this. So you rocked back, kind of easy there. Take a breath. Your exhale, staying rounded, you're just going to fall forward. And then pull yourself through to a long spine. Come on up. Exhale, rock back, round, drop. Inhale, pull through, lift. Exhale, scoop back, fall forward. Inhale, lengthen and lift. A couple more times without talking, just feeling. And pulling through center, coming up to sitting. Good. And we'll take the knees together here, and once again, rocking side to side. And we'll come back to center, and let's take the legs out wide. This will be probably our last seated pose here, just a wide angle seat. We'll take our hands in front of us. Sitting up tall as always, you want to draw the belly in and lift. Take your hands gently out in front, maybe like Spider-Man fingertips, whatever feels comfortable. And then just begin to sway yourself side to side, very easy. You can let the head follow. You can make it very easy. And as you work through this gently, you're just going to practice or play with lowering yourself down a little bit further. Just sensing, just feeling that easy flow. How does it register in your body? This is where we're taking our proprioception to interoception, noticing what your body's feeling inside. And then as you can, making your way down to your edge, that place between too far and not far enough. And you can rock side to side a little bit. Find your breath here. And once you make your way down to that place where you feel that you're right there, right at that yummy, sweet spot, we'll just hold, lengthening out through the sternum to the belly button, nice and long. The back of your head, your chin is not dropped to your chest. The back of your head is in line with your spine. And we're just going to hold here a little bit. If you'd like to close your eyes here. And turn your thoughts and awareness inside now to what you're feeling. Where is that well? Where is that deep well? Send the breath there. This is the source. This is where God lives inside. This is that center of your being where you draw your strength from. Where the breath moves into it. How are your legs feeling? How are your hips? Where's your breath? Allow the breath to be very smooth, easy, sweet. If you want to lower yourself down a little bit farther, that's great. If not, back off if you need to. And so from that farthest place, just take an inhale and back off. Take an exhale and sail down a little bit more. Your inhale will just shift you back just a tiny, tiny bit. Your exhale may bring you farther, it may not. Take your time. It's very minute. It's just a soft awareness of release and then dropping. Real easy. And now from this place, take a little journey over to your right leg. Take a little visit there. And again, backing off with the breath, exhaling into it. This is a very subtle ebb and flow here, very subtle. And allow your out breath now to be longer than your in breath. So we'll just take a breath in, exhale longer. Inhale a little shorter, exhale longer. And this time walk your way over to the other side and try it on the other side. A little in breath here, let your exhale be long, slow, release. Inhale, float back, exhale, settle. So just play it by ear, take your time. And then climbing back through center, stay right at that same level, but climb back through center, sway maybe a little bit here. And then very slowly walk your hands back towards you. Come on up to sitting. Ease the shoulders up and back. Maybe take another little stretch for the neck if you'd like. Take your hands up to your scalp. Give your scalp a little rub. And then take your hands behind your knees. Rock back a little bit. Walk your legs slowly back together. Don't snap them. No snapping of the legs. Come back to center. Press out. Flex and point through your feet a little bit. And then we'll bend your knees and let's roll on back. So you're going to roll on back. Take your knees with you. And notice how it feels once again to be fully supported in your back by the mat underneath, the support of the floor, the ground. Draw your knees in. And then we'll rest soles of the feet on the floor. Allow your arms to drop out side to side. And separate your feet about, not quite mat's width apart, but just allow the legs to swoosh again back and forth, nice and easy. To your level of comfort, see what you're asking for there. And maybe allow that gentle rocking to bring a sense of ease to your body, because you know you're just getting ready to rest. So this is like rocking a baby. We're just rocking ourselves down and down into that place of ease, very gentle, side to side. And then as you're ready, make your way into Shavasana, taking one leg out, other leg out. If you'd like to take another big stretch end to end, deep breath, and then make your way into resting. So allowing your palms to turn up if that's comfortable. If it's not, rest your palms on your belly. If you want to bend your knees here, you can bend your knees. And as you bend your knees, take them a little farther apart and then let them drop together so they support each other. So that would be kind of like this if you're looking. If you need to bend your knees, allow them to drop in so they can release tension in the inner thighs. Just let it go. And then settling in here, I'm going to close with a reading for you as you rest, releasing any control of your breath. I'm going to do a little reading from the 23rd Psalm. So settling in, coming back to those thoughts of thirst quenching water, of restoration. I'll share with you Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely, goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So resting now beside those quiet waters, take a moment. Come home to yourself. Just rest here. And could you come back now softly to an awareness of that sweet, gentle ebb and flow of your breath? And can that be for you today? And whenever it comes to mind, that memory and remembrance of God's presence within, that gentle, thirst quenching, refreshing presence. And then softly beginning to move again, maybe fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, whatever feels good. Taking a big stretch, maybe a deeper breath. And then making your way over to one side, allowing yourself to regroup there for a moment before you press up to sitting. As we meet sitting, we'll take hands to heart. Let's rest one hand on the heart, the other one on top. And I'll share with you an excerpt from In Praise of Water, from a book of blessings by John O'Donohue. Let us bless the humility of water, always willing to take the shape of whatever otherness it holds. The buoyancy of water, stronger than the deadening downward drag of gravity. The innocence of water, flowing forth without thought of what awaits it. The refreshment of water, dissolving the crystals of thirst. Water, voice of grief, cry of love in the flowing tear. Water, vehicle and idiom of all the inner voyaging that keeps us alive. Blessed be water, our first mother. We thank you, Lord, that you are water, that you are the one who quenches our thirst, the one who knows our thirst better than any other one, the one who knows all the parched places within all of us. Thank you for being willing to pour yourself out, and thank you for living in us as that water, as we seek to serve those around us with your goodness, with your refreshment. We carry you with us from this place, that we might truly be your voice, your heart, your hands, your feet. You are the ground of our being. You are the spirit who brings fire. You are the water that lives within. Streams in the desert and water in the wilderness. Thank you. In the name of Jesus the Christ, our healer. Amen. Thank you all for practicing with me today. Shalom. So come again. We'll see you next time.
Hi, Kathy with a C.
I'm turning